after some time now during past few months, but we have distributed the questionnaire for you to complete. The idea is to find out what a country need and feel free to fill it. We will share the link in chat box as well. So welcome everyone. And so the last year, I will give you a brief recap about the what we have done in last year, and we have discussed about many perspectives in different countries. Many countries face similar challenges as well as country-specific challenges. At the same time, there are several success stories as well. Some countries express their future expectation and adoption of biologicals as well. So, ABCoP has already become a regional platform for dialogue, knowledge exchange, and collaboration. So, this is especially important because the successful adoption of biological control and biopesticides require many actors to work together. So, in last year, India provided one of the strongest examples, and ERI showcased their recent efforts on rice microbiomes and native biocontrol agents. Some examples from Sri Lanka, Thailand, Bangladesh, Pakistan also showed some success stories and relevant to well-recognized biocontrol agents as well as the native biocontrol agents. So this is the very brief briefing about the last year. So before concluding this, I would like to sincerely acknowledge and thank all the speakers in the last year and the all the um, experts, those who have joined and shared their insight during the discussions as well. So with that, I would like to invite Dr. Ravi, the Executive Director of APARI, to open the session. Over to you, Dr. Ravi.
Thanks, Darshika, and welcome everyone, and especially the speakers, Dr. Jagdish Java and Mr. Rajinder Dhakal. Well, Darshika has given a brief overview of ABCoP, as we call Asia Biopesticide, Asia Pacific Biopesticide Community of Practice. Now we have replaced the word biopesticide with biosolutions, which you will see from the coming next, because we felt that biopesticide is very important, but it narrows down to one specific subject. So we are now going towards biosolution. In the context of ABCoP, some of you who have joined for the first time, this is actually outcome of a WTO project we did for Asia pesticide residue mitigation by promotion of biopesticide for facilitation of trade. Because it was found that if you use biopesticide at a given interval before harvest, where chemicals have been used before, there is no residue issue. And biopesticide as such do not leave residues. So the MRL issues are overcome, the codex issues are overcome if we use biopesticide properly in the field where chemicals have been used. That was an inspiration, a project which we did with many countries and now going on elsewhere also, same project. That was a motivation to push biopesticide. And even beyond trade, we know how much important is biopesticide when we all are talking about green agriculture now, minimizing the use of chemical pesticides and all. So friends, today we have two young, prominent workers, speakers. One is Dr. Jagdish Java. He is a scientist and lead entomologist of ICRISAC, a CGIR institute. And second is Rajendra Dhakal, who is a climate resilient analyst, and on livelihood he works from International Center for Integrated Mountain Development. Without wasting much time, we will start with Dr. Jagdish. Jagdish, he holds a PhD in entomology, as I mentioned, from a university where I went about 35 years ago, and it's the JB Pant University at Pantnagar. And his research area is mainly on host plant resistance, IPM, biological control, climate change, insect pest modeling, which has become so crucial nowadays, and insect plant interactions. And he has 13 years of experience in entomological research. Now, his journey professionally, he was born in ICAR. He took birth in Indian Council of Agriculture Research professionally as a senior research fellow. And then he pursued during his PhD, he was recognized he has won many awards. I see his CV. He started at a very young age with the Best Research Paper Award in the Biopesticide International Conference. And he showed hhis capabilities in ICRISAT, where he got the Young Scientist Award, and from one foundation in Chennai. And based on his contribution, he got Promising Young Scientist Award. So he always remained young and captured the award of young scientist whenever he got a chance. And then he was also a best mentor, which means a lot. Easy to work, but not easy to mentor. So that shows the consistency of his career to achieve things. And he has been an associate fellow for 2021 at the Telangana Academy of Science in Hyderabad. Telangana is a state in India, which some of you may not be knowing. You're from different parts of the world. And he has mentored 11 PhDs, 3 MSc research, and a lot of capacity building things, and visited many, many countries. So he is a blend of someone who has worked in the public sector, international organization, and in the private sector, where he was a regional agronomist at DuPont at some stage of his career. So without saying more about you, Dr. Jagdish, may I request you to please start your presentation, and kindly, you have 20 minutes. And if you don't want any questions to be asked, you can take whole 20 minutes. I leave it on you. If you want to be questioned by the participants, kindly finish by 17, 18 minutes. Thank you. Over to you, Jagdish.
Sir, is it visible too, sir?
Very much.
Yeah. So, good afternoon, everyone. And today, first of all, thanks to the Asian Biopesticide Community Practice and APARI for the invitation for update on the presenting the update on the biopesticides research work in Asia and as well as Africa. So in this context, whatever we are doing, some ongoing activities and research both in Asia as well as in African context. So before going, so our research ICRISAT is mainly looking for the semi-arid tropics. So semi-arid tropics region means most of the dryland crops will be there. So the most of the dryland crops, as you see, the sorghum, chickpea, pulse millet, pigeon pea, groundnut, and millets. So these are the dryland agriculture is a matters because these are almost 41% of the global land. It is covered by the dryland crops. More than it is fed to the 2 billion peoples of the globally. So these, as you know, the dryland name itself, it has a lot of challenges. So it has impact on the climate change and drought, soil degradation, apart from the new invasive insect pest and diseases. So ICRISAT has office locations. The India is a headquarter. This is the one. ICRISAT is a CGR institute. CGR institute working on semi-arid tropics crops, and it has a sub office center has located in different African countries. So Mali, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Malawi, Kenya, and Ethiopia. So we are working with both Asia as well as African continent. So coming to the major dryland crops distributions. So whatever the ICRISAT in the dryland regions, you can see the most of the dryland suitable crops are like sorghum, palm millet, chickpea, and pigeon pea and groundnut. In Asia, these are the dryland crops we are focusing. In Africa, the most of the farmers preferring the crops cultivating sorghum, palm millet, cowpea, and groundnut, and sesame. So according to the UNCCCD, these are the extreme hyper arid, and semi-arid regions. They are focusing on this region only. These are the suitable crops are cultivating. Oh, these dryland crops are majorly affected by the major pests and major insect pests are like sorghum. In sorghum, shoot fly and stem borer, and chickpea is the Helicoverpa armigera, and pigeon pea also it is one of the important pests is armigera, and Spodopterylitra, aphids, and fallow. These are the different insect pests which are majorly causing the dryland crops, which estimated losses between the 30 to 90 and 30 to 90% and different crops. So as the dryland crops, it impact consecuting the agricultures. So in agriculture, what are the major challenges are facing by especially the farming community? Most of the farmers, especially in India and in Africa, most of them they are following the monocropping. Those same cropping they're cultivating in the same land. Due to that, more the pest incidents, small minor insect become major, and due to that, lack of mechanization is a major constraint. Especially the Asia and in African continents, most of the like farmers are below lower developed country and less marginal, less holding farmers are there. Due to that, lack of mechanizations are there. Lack of organized market. There is no proper market availability, and the runoff and soil erosion is the major problem, especially in especially Malawi region in Africa and India, in the northern part of India. And inadequate post-harvest infrastructures, as in compared to the developed nations, you see the most of the farmers, especially in the Asia as well as Africa, they are majorly focusing on the inadequate post-harvest infrastructure. Due to that, farmers facing for the huge storage insect pests losses, especially in India. Almost 25 to 30% losses caused by the post-harvest losses by the insect pest. When the farmers his produce is harvest, that time the market and there is no price, no commodity price, then he will store in his home. During that time, these all post-harvest insect pest causes economic losses. And apart from these, major pest and diseases are new invasive pests and diseases are affecting. These are all due to the tiny and fragmenting land holdings. These are major difficult for the smallholder farmers. Excessive employment pressure in agriculture, multiple climatic hazards, so and under exploitation of groundwater, and low investment in agriculture in these regions. So in the same continuing of that previous slide, the farmers' incomes. So as I am representing in context to the India. So here in some of the states in India, we have the Uttar Pradesh is the largest state, and Bihar and Jharkhand and all over India. So here Uttar Pradesh is almost the household per year is almost 96,000, and annual Jharkhand is the lowest gross income for the farmers, and all India is having the 1,22,616. Sources of income, different wages. So crop cultivation, animal husbandry, non-farm business, and wages. So crop cultivation, according in the crop cultivation, Uttar Pradesh having the 50%, they have the income sources are getting, and come to the Bihar and Jharkhand and across all India. So different wages are the sources of income farmers cultivation, maximum from the crop cultivations, followed by the animal husbandry and the non-farm businesses like some trading those farmers are doing, and wages. Some of the farmers, especially in the Jharkhand regions, the most of the farmers or smallholder farmers, they depend upon the wages. So coming to the before going to the biopesticides, so why conventional pesticide alone is not enough in the current scenario of managing pest and diseases in the farming agriculture farming. So what are the challenges are there? As you know, the current challenges, pest resistance is a major concerns, because most of the farmers, especially in the African and Asian regions, They do repeated cultivation, repeated spraying of the same insecticide due to the development of pesticide resistance for particular insect pest, and residue concerns. As in earlier session, like as mentioned in the introduction speech, they have mentioned that residue concern is the major concern area, as concerns in the especially for these developing countries in Asia and Africa. Loss of biodiversity due to the continuous spraying of the pesticides, loss of biodiversity, natural enemies we are losing, and toxicity to the our economic insect pests like pollinators. High production cost of cultivation increasing by due to the high costly pesticide chemicals, and for the environmental contaminations. So these are the challenges, and these global drivers means what we need to be focused on the residue regulations. Especially we are especially some of the countries we are very lacking in the residue regulations, especially the export commodity. And organic food demand is for the consumer side is the most demand on the organic food. So due to that, we need to be switch on the pesticide to alternative one. And this is a part of our the sustainable development goal according to the UN. So SDG 2, 12, 13, 15 are the mandate. And climate smart agriculture. Ultimately, we need to be in the current scenario of climate change scenario. So we need to be we need to do farming on the climate smart. So in continuation of the previous slide, recently, for this is I'm highlighting this slide is presently in Indian context. The recent export rejections from Indian consignment in 2026, they're having red chili and China chili. These are all the issue with the export commodity has been rejected to the importer country because of the some of the most of the consignment is affected by the pesticide residues. So pesticide residue, this is the alarming scenario. So for a wake-up call for this, we need to work on this to avoid any, because most of the farmers, they cultivate the produce from the large farming area, and he wanted to export the commodity. Ultimately, he will face the issue with exporting his commodity to the different countries. So not only the India, export rejection is not limited to India. They have several countries face similar challenges because Turkey, Egypt, China are frequently flagged due to the pesticide residues. So here the graphical, the pie chart, I can show that among the agriculture commodities majorly affected by the vegetable crops, because most of the temperate countries, they are totally depend on these semi-arid tropic region countries for they import the most of the vegetables from here to the temperate regions. So due to those vegetable is majorly affected by the pesticide residues, followed by the fruits and spices. In context to the countries-wise rejections, as India is 22%, and Turkey, Egypt, and China. These are the issues of very less regulation in especially the maintaining the pesticide residues for especially the export commodities. So this highlights the global shift towards stricter food safety standards. So this is all the countries adopting majorly residue-free practices will gain the clear advantage. Whichever the countries are practicing with good standard of the residues level, MRL level, those countries will be benefited from the export commodity. So all implication from the conventional pesticide and all. So now the focus is majorly on the biologicals. So biologicals, why biologicals? What are the biological products? The biological products is the wide terms, though they have the large quantity. They have wild different areas of like biostimulants. They have the microbials, non-microbials, plant, C extracts, and biocontrol like biopesticides. And that biopesticides having the biochemicals, microbials, and macroorganisms. Macroorganisms, nothing but natural enemies like insect predators, natural and parasitoids, entomopathogenic nematodes. These are all comes under macroorganisms. So these are all the biological products are in the coming recent years has an emerging trend in the most of the developed countries and developing countries. So how the biopesticide market size and growth over there? There's a global expected the growth is from 24 billion in 2025. It can rise to 97 billion in 2036. So the huge forecasted as per the 13 to 15% annual growth rate is as predicted, making the forecasting segment in the crop protection area. As I mentioned in the early slide, the rapid adoption across the regions. The US North American regions, a leading adoption of these biologicals in this farming sector. And Europe also they are adopting majorly, they are strictly on the, especially in the regulations of the pesticide. They also have the strict regulations. They have each country, they have to register the strict regulation for this in this. And Asia Pacific regions, fostering expanding market. These are the huge market demand is there. So they have a lot of scope for developing this biopesticide market in this region. So increasing the replacement chemical input, most of the now the consumer's demand is it should be free from the pesticides. There is a huge demand. Adoption rising from the organic farming, IPM adoptions to drive and residues free demand. Growing the safe traceable residues without complaint food. Export market is accelerating. So biopesticide versus pesticide market, the crop wise share in India and it is global. So here the first I am representing global biopesticide market over the year. You can see the market sharing is increasing over the year. You can see 2025 is almost like crossing the 10 billion. And in context to the Indian biopesticide market, you here also you can see gradually most of the farmers and researchers and the influencing on the biologicals for the farming community. You can see the market share in the market share from the 2027 to 2019. Currently in India, there are 410 biopesticide production units in India, mostly government organizations engaged in commercial manufacturing. So Indian biopesticide market expected to do 381 million by 2030. So availability of quality biocontrol adoption of farmers remain challenged because most of the state in India they have most of the quality biocontrol agents are there, biocontrol units are there, but they have the lack of quality and packaging and stability. Those are the issues, are their major challenges for the farming. And the Indian global pesticide market, and when compared to you can see the insecticide is a majorly like higher percent share when compared to the herbicide and fungicide. You can see the biopesticides when compared to the global market, India is very limited extent. There is a lot of scopes for the expanding this pesticide in this Indian context. And coming to the crop group, which are the crops are majorly insecticide are using. You can see the majorly almost 30% is a rice and wheat. They have the in India and globally that they have similar trend of the uses of pesticide in different crops across the globe. And pesticide and biopesticide consumption in India and Africa. As you can see from the Department of the Director of Plant Protection in DPPQS Central Government of India, as per the record, there is a continuous consumption of pesticide and biopesticide. There is a recent years from the biopesticide as increasing trend when compared to the biopesticides. And in context to the African region, you can see clear there is a lot of scope for the implementation of biopesticide market and biopesticide for the farming community. There is a very least consumption as well as market share of biopesticide in African context. And when compared to, you can see the most of the farmers in African regions there's a largely depend on the chemical pesticides. So here are the different states of in India. They're having the consumption of biopesticides. You can see the Maharashtra having the larger area. They have adoption of biopesticide, followed by the West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, and few of the states have the limited extents. They are limited uses of biopesticides. So biopesticide markets. So which are the market players? Major players are there for the production of pesticide. So these are the especially Bayer, Syngenta, BASF, UPL, whatever. These are the major players. So as you know that these are the players majorly production usably pesticide market earlier. Now almost all companies, you can see most of the companies, they have separate division biologicals. So they don't have the division. They are taking some other companies take over and they are doing the biologicals activity because biological is the major demand in the coming scenario. You can see the BASF is the largest share compared to followed by the Sumitomo and Bayer and UPL. These are the major companies that are expanding the biologicals in across the globe. And pesticide and biopesticides. So what are the difference between, so how we can, the perception between the, are there market potential is as per the ruling is by chemical pesticide, but still biologicals, they have a lot of scope. We need to be improve, further strengthen the stability and longevity. And conceptual promotion, low risk, already familiar in the market. Chemicals, most of the farmers, they have high risk because still we have the quality products are not available in the market. Still there is a lot of scope for the improvement. And government attitude and the farmers point of view, these are the all the public opinions, these are the all the comparative with the pesticide and biopesticides. And coming to the chemical pesticide equivalent to biologicals, so how we can compare with chemicals and biologicals. So what are the insect pests are there, which chemicals we are recommending, in context to the biological, which are the chemicals we are recommending. So insect pests, like example sulfur dicofol, we recommend for the, these are the insect pests. In biologicals, we'll recommend those insect pests with names, and some biologic and the biologicals, and the trade names, and as a national as well as international level. And lepidopteran pest, we recommend, these are the conventional chemicals, and the biologicals are these are the chemicals. Similarly, all the sucking pest and diseases have the different chemicals as well as biologicals recommendations for the particular pest and diseases. And locked horn, so agrochemicals, biologicals, most of the perceptions are there, especially the cost effectiveness, the agrochemicals will achieve, but increase spraying cost. But agrobiologicals are costlier, but reduce number of application because they're very less. And persistence and residue effect, these agrochemicals are a long residual, and long waiting period is required, a lot of things, and biologicals very less. So pest resurgence, as you can see, the pest resurgence for the agrochemicals is more, and the agrobiologicals is very less. So waiting period is high and almost nil. So these are the different comparative studies with agrochemicals and biologicals. Some of the case studies, the most almost years that we are doing in India, the microbials like HANPV in 1990s, they are adopting with the Helicoverpa armigera nuclear polyhedral virus. Similarly, now the most of the insects having their own viral, like Spodoptera litra, nuclear hydral polyvirus, fall armium, moruca. They have different microbial pesticide for they have reduced. These are the examples of in like Mejery in 1990s, and still some of the farmers they are adopting for the biopesticides. And botanical insecticide, evergreen, the neem-based formulations. Not only they depend upon the neem-based formulations. Now we have the so many biopesticides like pongemia are there, custard apple. These are the different botanicals extracts are there. Those need to be explored, and there is a lot of scope for the improvement. And microbial
Jagdish,
as a try.
Yes, sir. Can you kindly
Yes, sir.
wind
Yes.
up soon?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Summarize
The
the list here.
yes, case studies for Africa. These are the case studies Africa, and based upon our efficacy studies in the laboratory, we conducted on the different actinomycetes, where the different the concentrations we have tested actinomycetes. You can see that the treated actinomycetes and different concentration, and different mortality ranges is different when compared to the control. And also we tested these actinomycetes on the fall armyworm, and here clear difference between the actinomycetes and the greenhouse studies for the fall armyworm effectively managing when compared to the control. And these are the global wise field efficacy of microbials and the current status, whatever they're working on the community, working globally. And here the current status on country, region, and development, commercialize are there. And these all biopesticides linked with the One Health framework of the WHO. So all linked with the One Health program. And breakthrough technologies is now biopesticides. The breakthrough technologies, RNA-based silencings. There's the current existing market. These are the products are there on the market. Still, they all in the developed nations. There has to be scope for the developing nations. And nano-based pesticides, they have the longer UV degradation, temperature stress, rapid breakdown. We can be tackled with the nano-based biopesticides. They have a lot of products are available in the market. And these are the conventional nano and RNA biopesticide comparisons. So there is a lot of scope for the RNA biopesticide and nano biopesticide to strengthen the market. And these are the macro. These are some of the insect pest natural enemies. Though over the last 50 years, how their research is going on across the globe. Coming to the finally, I'll conclude my topic like presentation is biopesticide provides safe and eco-friendly technology when compared to alternative. There is a lot of scope for this Asia as well as African regions for expanding the biologicals for the farming community. And there is a lot of emerging technologies, RNA, nano-based and drones. These are the major role for developing the improved biopesticides for the farming community. They have a lot of improvement that is also required for the policy changes, export purpose, and lot of registration requirement, delay in registration, most of the biologicals. That has to be improved. And the regional collaboration between Asia and Africa and globally required for the farming community. So finally, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jagdish, for such an insightful presentation. You gave an excellent summary of the biopesticide importance and the high risk in the market when it comes to perception of promotion, and also a good comparison of the various kind of conventional nano and RNA biopesticide. And you highlighted the importance of the rejections, which leads to residue issues, which I think gives additional importance to biopesticide. And you related well with the dryland agriculture, which is the strength of ICRISAT, and you're going to have an international conference in September on that. We are aware of that.
Yes.
So thank you so much. We'll open it for question and answers after the second presentation. So friends, now we are moving on to our next distinguished speaker, Mr. Rajendra Dhakal. He is going to speak on a topic pertaining to an ecosystem which is quite rare. He works on mountain agriculture, which most of the people in the general agriculture do not appreciate, which has its own challenges. He is a specialist of climate resilience analysis at International Center for Integrated Mountain Development based in Nepal, which ICIMOD, which is also a member of APARI. He has 12 years of experience in climate adaptation, agroecology, which is becoming very crucial now, and nature-based solutions. And he holds an MSc in organic agriculture. Right from the background, he is more into the nature-based or the different way of agriculture and food systems from the University of Hohenheim, Germany. I don't know if I pronounced well, Hohenheim, Germany. Now, he has led and coordinated multi-country initiatives across South Asia. He generated evidence and supported the scaling up of climate-resilient agriculture and sustainable food system. As I mentioned before, his work focuses on agroecology, ecosystem-based adaptation, and now also on the biological pest management and policy integration, which is very crucial when you work on the ground and you link the science with the policy. I think that is how things move. And community-based approaches to strengthen resilient mountain livelihoods he has worked on. He has a lot of research initiatives, guidelines, scientific publication, and all. So, Mr. Rajendra, I will request you to now take up. Floor is yours to speak on nature-based solution for sustainable pest management. Over to you, Rajendra.
Ravi sir, I'd like to share my screen. Is my slide is visible to you?
It is coming.
Somebody...
It is coming. Yes.
It's now. Wait.
You can make it full screen, please.
Sorry?
Full screen, please. Make it full screen, please.
It is not full screen now?
No.
Okay. Now,
Yes. Go
okay.
ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Ravi sir and Karsika for inviting me on this COP, Asia Pacific Biopesticide Committee of Practice. Uh, Thank you for wonderful introduction, Ravi sir. As I doesn't consider myself a specialist or analyst, I am just a student. I'm still learning on this subject matter, especially nature-based solution. I'd like to start with a brief introduction of ICMOD. Like ICMOD is, as Ravi said, International Center for Integrated Mountain Development. We work in 8 countries, that is Nepal, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, China, India, and Myanmar. ICMOD like to call itself as a knowledge hub. We generate knowledge, especially in subject matter related to climate change impact on mountain communities, and also we generate knowledge on what are the solutions that can help them to adapt to this climate change impact. So after this introduction, I like to directly move on to my topic because time is also only 20 minutes here. So as Jagdish sir also highlighting that pest challenge is increasing globally. 30 to 40% of annual crop losses is to pest and disease. As Jagdish also said that 30 to 90% post-harvest losses is also is due to the pest, and more than 36 billion USD is estimated as a global market for pesticide in Southeast Asia. And in Hindu Kush Himalayan region, more than 220 million people is dependent on mountain agriculture, which Ravi also highlighted is very different than other agriculture system within the Southeast Asia. And many of the farmers, about 70% farmers, say that pest is pressure is increasing. So currently, one of the major reasons why pest is increasing in last few decades is because of the climate change. Rising temperature is expanding pest habitat. A recent study is saying that increasing temperature is not directly uh, proportional to the increase in pest numbers. However, that directly or indirectly, rising temperature is expanding pest habitat and increasing pest infestation in the farming communities. Also, because of the erratic monsoon and climate change is disturbing natural enemy phenology and crop pest synchrony. The pest arrival is becoming faster. They arrive early, and natural enemies, they being functional, they arrive on time. When they arrive, the pest is reproduced in higher number that the natural enemies are not able to control it. Also, there are huge genetic erosion of traditional varieties that were used to be our, protection. That the traditional variety is highly climate resilient and can tolerate pest and disease, but this traditional variety is disappearing. And what farmers are doing is what farming communities are doing. They are adapting to this, huge pressure of pest through going to the chemicals. Now there is a agrochemical treadmill is going. Everyone is running after importing pesticide. If you see in Nepal, Pakistan, even Bhutan, who consider itself organic, they are also importing huge number of pests. It has increased to 7.8 folds in last 1 decade. In Nepal, 33-fold increase in pesticide imports. In if you compare with the 3 countries, Pakistan is way higher than Nepal and Bhutan. They have imported more than 100,000 of tons of pesticide in 2024, whereas Nepal only imported 1,000. But considering the production level is very huge, the developing countries are investing more money on importing pesticide than it should be investing in producing the sustainable food and other aspect of food production system. And what happened when this pesticide is imported, is the pesticide has multiple impact in health, environment, and socioeconomics. There are a lot of examples in India, even in Nepal. There is active poisoning has been reported by the farmers. There is organophosphate exposure to the Indian farmers. 35% of blood report from some of the farmers in Punjab has detected chlorophyrus and dimethod detected in their blood. Cancer is becoming common because of the increased exposure to the pesticide. Even the one of the research from WH and UNIP has said that the breast milk also contain residue of pesticide, organic pollutants, and 40% of tomato in Nepal. Recent studies has shown that number of vegetables has exceeded MRL, the pesticide levels in the market. And in terms of environment, water contamination is regularly there. Even in some of the studies conducted in Ganges River, they have found many POPs, persistent organic pollutants, present in this water collected from the Ganges rivers. And one of the interesting factor, even glacier is not far away from having pesticide residue. Many glacier is many studies show that glacier are the secondary source of legacy POPs. POPs means persistent organic pollutants. It came from wind. It came from rain, and it deposited in the glacier for many years. When it melts, it goes down to the downstream community, polluting their rivers and polluting their farms. Soil degradation is huge because of the chemicals. And also Jagdish sir highlight the impact on pollinators, aquatic biodiversity, and also economic burdens is also high because the pesticides resistance is very, if you consider health aspect also, people are investing more on health because of the pesticide poisoning. In terms of buying pesticide, is becoming expensive, and when this pesticide resistance is there, you need to buy new pesticide, which is causing high economical pressure for farmers. Trade barriers. Jagdish sir also already mentioned that the rejection that farmers are going through, because of the residual pesticide residual in their food. Because of the increased feminization, there is female farmers are more exposed to pesticide than male farmers, especially in Nepal and Bangladesh. And many prohibited pesticides such as DDT is still being used in Nepal and in many parts of India, which is causing more health, environment, and socio-economic problems. Beside all this, with the use of pesticide, with the use of chemicals, the pests become more stronger. They are now pests become super pests. By injecting chemicals, they become super pests. They now came early. They go faster. They mutate. They are tolerated to pests. They are resistant to pesticide. So they have become very super pest. And what we are doing is we are try to control a living organism by using non-living things like pesticide. So it cannot, control non-living things cannot control the living organism for many years. So we need to control them. We need a living things, and living things is obviously provided through nature-based solution, through biological agent like predators, parasites. They can control. They can, because the living organism can change themselves, can adapt to the changing climate, and can continue controlling them, uh, is irrespective of different climatic condition. So NBS provide the long-term solutions to control the pest. And I try to group the NBS solution in three different categories: one biological control agent, one cultural habitat and management like ABCoP, and other is botanical and ecosystem service, that traditional knowledge we have on preparing pesticide, biological pesticide. And I will talk about more on simple solutions that commercially available within Nepal and market. And when we are talking about natural-based solution, most of the farmers, say that will it works or not. They doubt. And although there are not much of research is there, but there are few research I want. They say that it is still working. Like these are some of the examples of the research that show that predator mites able to control 80% of the spider mites. This NPV, Jagdish sir also mentioned that as an NPV controlling Armigera. And there are Trichoderma, Metargium, Cryspella, and Trichoderma. These all are predators, parasites, and pathogens. This is being used in Nepal, in India, in Bangladesh, and these are highly effective to control different kind of pest. And also our region, Hindu Kush Himalaya regions, has a very diversity of traditional varieties. You can see India has 470,000 different varieties of traditional crops. Many of them is rice. In Bangladesh also, in China also, sorry, China also 392,000 of different varieties are there. Mostly of them are rice, but still we have huge diversity on different types of varieties. And these traditional varieties, now we are saying this we have, but rather than is we call it a natural laboratory now, but in future is we should call it a museum. You know, is they are start to disappear because farmers are not conserving, the government is not having more interest in conserving these kind of varieties, and these varieties provide, you know, are highly climate resilient. In Nepal, there are varieties who can rice varieties that can tolerate to blast, different insects. There are varieties who even tolerate to the hailstone. You know, these are the varieties that we can is there for many years because it come from the years of selection from farmers. As a farmers are the breeders, you know, they make these varieties from years of selection. So they is evolved for many years. That's why this variety continues evolving. Even in the different climate conditions, they will still be relevant and still be controlling, still be resistant and tolerant to the pest. So I think we need to use these kind of varieties in future to control more and more to control the pest and diseases. So intercropping and for pest management, Jagdish sir also highlighted this. Intercropping and pest management is also not a new thing. It's also a traditional knowledge. We talk about Milpa system or tree system. It came from many years, and our forefathers used to have this kind of system. And these are some of the example I saw it in the slide that this system is still relevant in controlling different pests, harboring different natural enemies, so that it helps in controlling other pests. So you can see in the slide that in Nepal also maize and soybean is helping controlling the fall army. In India, white flies is controlled by with the help of cotton and pigeon tree and season intercropping, we can control white fly, the parasite, like so that's in fact their parasitism and trichoma is actively presented when this kind of intercropping is used. In China, similarly in China, East Africa, the intercropping is working. It is helping to control the pest. And there are different type of intercropping, low intercropping, strip intercropping, mixed intercropping. This is the one of I started from this one of the meta analysis, and it believes that all kind of intercropping is good for pest suppression. While comparing mixed crop intercropping is regarded as moderate to pest suppression. However, in other study also show that mixed intercropping is also very good in highly efficient in controlling the pest. And it is also these all three intercropping are good for harboring natural enemies, parasite, and predators also. Other things, mechanization. Normally, the drawback for intercropping, they say that is not good for mechanization or large scale farm. But in case of strip cropping, mechanization can be possible. So, in case of indigenous botanical pesticide, Nepal, there is a to zolmol. Zolmol, we call it zolmol. It is a biological pesticide. Is you can say the fermented zolmol is and plants like Artemisia or neem, whatever plants they are available locally, they can use it to make it. And one of the studies showed that it is very effective against controlling fruit infection and weed rot. But Zolmol 2 and 3 are highly effective in other controlling other insect and pest in other vegetables. There are not much research on this because the quality of Zolmol and different location have different kind of plants. If it gets maybe look or here based on the plant they use to make Zolmol. And recently, I visited Andhra Pradesh natural farming, and they have so many alternative as a biopesticide. They have Neemastra, Agniastra, Brahmastra, and Dospania, or and NS, NSK, salt buttermilk, chili garlic, and all of these, biopesticide is working. Working as a farmer, they are controlling insect and pest. They are different mode of action, but there is very few research is there to scientifically prove that this system is working. But as long as farmers is happy and it is helping them, I think it is a good option compared to the chemical that we use. So not only they is helping to control pest, but if we look at the benefit cost ratio also, here I have been shown 3:1, but many places is more than 3:1. If we consider other benefit also, this is one of the example from HKS region. Input cost saving is up to 62%, and in Nepal, if we say safe food, sometimes it can get up to 25 to 30% premium price. In Nepal, people doesn't pay for organic certified product, but they pay more if farmers claim that it is coming from mountain region, like the region where there is no access to pesticide or chemicals. They will pay more. Like in Nepal, there's a marshi rice from Jumla, high altitude rice. There's a apple, high altitude apple. It sometimes goes up to twice as high price as conventional based product. Also in India, I see that some of the farmers is also uh, producing biopesticide and selling that and earning money. In Nepal also, some of the farmers is selling this dolmol, manufacturing and selling dolmol to other farmers, so it can create more jobs if it is used produced commercially. I also told him that benefit is there, benefit cost ratio is one, but it was only when we compare the economic part. If we compare, to other benefit it provide, if we monetize the benefit such as pollinator business benefits, soil carbon, water quality, biodiversity index, human health and climate, if we able to monetize this benefit also, it definitely exceed the farm income that is generated from convention. Here in the spider chart, you can see farm income. The NBS is slightly less than the conventional one, but if we monetize other benefit that nature-based solution provide, the co-benefit, maybe the farm income will be higher. So I think still we know that most of the farmers also know that nature-based solution is the things for future, and chemical is not doing good for them. Still, it is very difficult to make farmer adapt to this solution. One of the main thing is, I think, economic, no green credit. I think recently the Nepal and India, especially India, is bit ahead, providing carbon credit and payment for ecosystem services. That things that is helping to generate extra income from the co-benefit that brought by the nature-based solution. But in Nepal, slowly the carbon credit is being discussed. You can say discussed or started. If we able to bring this kind of green credit, carbon credit and PES, payment for ecosystem service, and now farmers have more incentive to use NBS and biological solution, biosolution that Ravi sir said. Also, knowledge. I think most of the extension worker that is currently here in Nepal, or the most of the extension workers, the curriculum you can say is started after the Green Revolution. So most of the education system in Nepal for extension workers for expert is mainly brainstormed by this. Without chemicals, nothing will happen. So I think slowly this green solution, bio solution is coming up. Although nature-based solution is very old, I think uh, it is as old as 1700 years ago. It has been used in 380. China used this weaver ant. They collected from the forest and used in citrus. In many years, this knowledge is very traditional knowledge, not new. We can say that old uh, old wine in new bottle. Currently, it is few. I think last decade, it is highlighted more, but it is very traditional knowledge. Even I went to the Bhutan in very remote area, and they believe they said that the ladybird people, ladybird beetle brings good luck to them. So they had to preserve it. They are preserving it for many years. They doesn't allow to kill this. So similarly in China, I think they preserve uh, dragonflies in Japan, praying mantis. This kind of traditional now. This knowledge is very closely linked to the culture practices and things. So NBS is not a new term, but people have forgotten it, and now it is being coming again in new approach. Also, policy. I do not blame the government that the government had to feed their population, so they had to provide subsidy to chemicals, so that production improve, and the more and more people can have access to food. But still, the government has to developing countries to developing country has to think the alternative way also. They need to think for future also, for sustainability also, and start investing on green solution also. Labor and institutional is, I think some of the biological solution farmers have to make. It's not like you go to market, buy and spray. This whole mole and other things, trigo compost even, they had to invest some time. So it's a labor. Sometimes community complain that it is increasing their labor, but considering health benefit, labor is nothing. And institutional, I think industry wise also, I was happy to see that in India, bio pesticide market is improving, but there is a huge challenge in going to industrializing the bio pesticide, especially in Nepal. Mostly biological solution, the solution that work in one place may not work in others. Like trichoderma extracted from one district may not work in another district. So it has to be locally extracted. Such as predatory mites. If we introduce predatory mites from India to Nepal, it may impact other predators within the locality. So, and also, most of these biological solutions are living organism, and we cannot keep them live for many years. So they expire faster. They are packaged with some growing material as food, and they are packaged and they have expiry of 4 to 5 to 6 months. But many companies market it at 1 year, 2 years, but it is very challenging to keep the living organism live for 1 year within a small package of bottles or packets of plastics. So sometimes it impact, people are not ready to invest on these kind of things. And also why the big industry only invest in a biological control measure when these predatory mites or trichoderma, when farmers can multiply with a very simple techniques at their own home. Trichoderma, the farmers can multiply within their home. Even predators, they can multiply within their locality with the use of different kind of crops. So it is very challenging. I think that the industry will grow, especially in developing countries, looking at the benefit will they get from this production of this biopesticide. And in Nepal, in order to promote this kind of solution, we have developed community learning centers. It is a kind of, we choose a leader farmer and we establish different kind of demonstration of different nature based solution in a one place, and we ask farmers to visit that place, and it's like learning by doing. They made this solution by this, they see their efficacy and they replicate this to their home. Currently, more than 1,000 CLC is active in across SKF. More than 25,000 is engaged, and more than
Rajendra, please wind up if you don't mind. Please wind
yeah,
up in
yeah.
1 minute.
Coming to it now is last slide. So most of the recommendation I also presented in to the challenge slides. There is no much different recommendation. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajendra. I know you have to hurry up with the very important slide of your recommendation. Plus, I really appreciate your presentation, highlighting the best challenges in the Hindu Kush Himalaya, where the temperature is rising +2 degrees every 10 years, as you mentioned. Quite alarming.
Yeah.
And also, one point which you mentioned is also not very pleasant. Like the pesticide import in Nepal is becoming some 30, 35-fold more, which
Yes.
is quite alarming. And I was happy to see there was a lot of overlap also with the previous presentation from Dr. Jagdish on the evidences from the Hindu Kush regions on various biocontrol examples which you gave. But the highlight of your presentation is the importance of intercropping. Intercropping is one such cultural practice which I think doesn't cost much and has a high return. And I think
Yeah.
these cultural practices need to be highlighted more vis-a-vis the management of the pest. And another thing which I learned for the first time is jhol mol. That is your indigenous botanical pesticide from the mountainous regions, which you highlighted quite well. And it is commercially available if I could follow you correctly, jhol mol.
Yes, some farmers informally selling it, but not in
Okay.
the.
Okay, it's if community is selling it maybe. And most important point you mentioned is this barriers for scaling in the use of this biopesticide, be it lack of green credit or knowledge or policy or labor issues or institutional fragmentation or low shelf life or storage quality, whatever. These things I think need a lot of attention for promotion of biopesticide. That point is what we feel we should have another webinar on that to see how we overcome the scaling barriers and what is being done. So thank you so much, Rajendra. Well, friends, we have had both the sessions quite insightful, quite informative in different ways. And now both the talks are open for discussion. Please raise your hand and feel free to ask any question related to the topic. No one? I have so many questions. I thought I may reserve. Let people ask. Okay, Dr. Muhammad Panna Ali.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, please come up.
Uh, I am a Principal Scientific Officer from Bangladesh Agricultural Research Council. I have 19 years experience of insect pest management, both in Bangladesh, Japan, and the United States. So this is the Asian biopesticide farm. So I have curiously, I want to ask, this program have any plan or idea to provide or support some biopesticides that we can evaluate it or test in our country for certain pests that are very effective in your country or other parts, for example, Nepal or India, that can be equally applicable in our country? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad Pangali. Who can respond? I think the question was directly on the organizers. It's a challenge to the organizer, not on the speakers. So let me take the privilege of responding, and you all can join me, Rajendra and Jagdish. Well, this platform is a networking platform. This platform is sharing knowledge, not biopesticide, which per se, sharing knowledge on biopesticide. This platform is to see what is going on around the world, especially in Asia and the Pacific, And this platform helps you get more context where you can go one-on-one discussion at a later stage. But Dr. Panali, what we can do is we can share with you, or if you can go to our website and find all the various presentations we had in the last 2 years. We publish a rewind of the year on biopesticide. You have a list of people who have joined, and I think it is from there where kind of a contact has to be established. However, if you want us to do from your behalf, we will see what best we can do for you. And in Bangladesh, we have worked, you are with BARC, we have worked with BARI, Bangladesh Agriculture Research Institute, on the biopesticide program. And we were trying to link the BARC biopesticide program with some SMEs who come up with the support in terms of public-private partnership or who are prepared to manufacture some biopesticide locally. Because import itself is quite a tedious job for biocontrol agent or biopesticide, and it's quite costly. So let us be in touch, Dr. Muhammad Ali and Panali, and anything you can supplement, Dr. Jagdish or Rajendra?
Yeah, maybe I can, because East has mandate to work in Bangladesh also. We are currently working in Bandarbah and Khagrasuli district in Bangladesh, and we are promoting this nature-based solution through community learning center in this space. We are working with Helvitas and also local NGO R9, where we are implementing some of this solution in there.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Jagdish. Can you unshare the screen? Rajendra, is you or Darshika who is projecting? I don't know. So that we can see all of you at one go. Yeah. Okay. Then anyone else with any question, or not necessarily a question, any remark or any comment or any additional information he or she wants to share?
May I ask a question?
Yeah, please. Bangladesh is very active today. Dr. Hasanullah.
Thank you, sir. Each and every biological control agent or pesticide is very much temperature reactive. But I do not see any slide anywhere which biological control agent or pesticide is much active in hot temperatures.
Okay.
Some biocontrol agents or pesticides are not active when temperature reaches 40 degrees or 40 degrees. So I want such kind of.
No, that's a very important point, Dr. Hasanullah. And in fact, the question of Dr. Hasanullah pertains to thermosensitivity or thermoresistance, you can say, and so also on the kind of shelf life linked with that. So any one of you can answer, Dr. Jagdish?
It is actually a good question. Actually, due to some of like time constraint, we could not get like proceed with all different slides of presentation. So as I mentioned in the slides, especially conventional pesticide, biopesticide, most of the conventional biopesticide, we have the issue with especially this temperature sensitive. They have less stable during the high temperature. Due to that reason, now the new technologies like nano based biopesticides, they have compared to the conventional, they have the longer durability, stability with temperature, and the more now the recent one, innovative one is RNA based that biopesticide. So even some of the normally you can see that HANPV, I mentioned in the HANPV, that nuclear polyhedral virus. So in India, what they used to do, along with HANPV, small, they will put ink, small, like normally what we write a pen that have they put ink or some liquid based solution in that, so to make the more stable when compared to the temperature. Normal HANPV, when you spray, that is a less stable. When you put some normal ink or some solution, that will increase the stability in temperatures. So this is a way, and whatever the conventional biopesticide they have, I can agree with it, less stable for the temperature. But whatever the nano based are there, they're going compared to them, it's more stable.
Okay, thank you so much, Jagdish. Rajendra, would you like to also supplement, complement? No?
Yes, I think temperature and humidity play an important role, especially in predators and other things. Higher temperature and higher humidity helps them to reproduce faster. However, if the temperature exceeds above 45 degrees Celsius, the insect has nature. Most of the insect has and predators have nature. They will stop reproduction, but they will go for survivability. So the reproduction rate will be down in case of temperature exceeding 45 degree to 60 degree, but survival they focus on more on survival, because I did my research also on predatory mice. I know some of this information on especially on predatory mice predators.
Thank you so much. Yeah, any more question from the participant? Rashika, anyone raising hand? I am not able to see.
Not at the moment, sir.
Okay, then I have one or two kind of a question from first from Jagdish. Is you said the global growth of biologicals is going to be about 9,700, 100 billion in the coming, I should say, 10 years. Now, looking at the issues in the adoption of biopesticide, how do you see that? Because the scaling barriers are very important, which Rajendra has highlighted. How do you foresee? How do you foresee that 4 times the jump from now, 24 billion to 100 billion in 10 years? Any reason for this promising information? You're mute.
Yeah, in one of the presentations of innovative technologies like RNA based, and most of the farmers, especially biopesticide, means they say that it is long taking time for the managing pest in the field conditions. It will take long durability. When the innovative technologies like nano based and RNA based, they have when compared to the conventional biopesticide, they have the quicker knockdown effect. So in coming days, these innovative technologies, biopesticides coming to the market, then it will gradually the acceptability of the farmers also increases, and also as mentioned in the export purpose in context. So most of our export is issues like declining from the different consignment, and in that scenario also most of even APEDA, Government of India, APEDA, NAFED, they are maybe exclusively, majorly working for in this scenario on the biopesticides to take care, especially whichever the consignment, whichever the farmers, whichever the villages they have routinely they are exporting that particular any commodity, especially the grapes and all. So they are majorly focusing on the residual limit and insisting to them to use biologicals. So in African locations also they have a lot of like ECP team. ACP and Kenya, they are majorly now focusing on the biologicals. And even most of the donors in CGR Institute and all agencies are majorly promoting biologicals. Last 10 years back, nobody in the microbiology unit and all, they have thought that there is no work on. No. Now, whatever the donors are there, even the policymakers and the different agencies, they are giving their opportunity to give funding for the working on the biologicals. So if the more the biological research R&D is working on, then automatically we'll get the marketability and the consumptions and the usage of the will increase.
Okay, thank you so much. And if there are no more questions, I would request Francois from Global Forum of Agriculture Research and Innovation. Francois, are you there? They have initiated a similar community of practice based on our community of practice called Bio4SA. Bio4SA. And there is a lot of complementarity and synergy between the two community of practices if you have to work across Asia and Pacific, along with the Africa and all, which is the case with ICRISAT. I think that will be a useful platform because our job is to promote biosolutions as much as possible. We may not be doing research, but we want to bring the best of researchers to see how we can spread that information, their knowledge, and the message of biopesticide to the global community in this era of both increasing use of chemicals and in the era of climate change. I think all this has become more a necessity than just a formality nowadays. So, with these few words, I think we will close the session with big thank you uh, to both the very distinguished speakers, Jagdish and Rajendra. And if anyone wants to give a one last comment, we just wait for 30 seconds. Any of the participant or anyone who wants to share anything about the subject, we're happy to take it. Otherwise, I will pass on to my colleague, Darshika, to wind up the session.
Sir, am I audible?
Where are you? Sorry, can you please introduce yourself? You're audible,
Yeah,
but
I am Dr. Shanbasappa S. Deshmukh, working as Professor of Entomology from Karnataka.
okay. Thank you. Okay, very much audible.
Thank you, Ravi sir.
Yeah, please.
Both the presentations given by Dr. Jaba and Rajendra, they are fantastic and very advanced. The information they have given, and which will be very helpful, and they showcase the importance of biopesticides. That is the need of the hour today. So as Dr. Jaba rightly mentioned, many of our consignments which are not standing at the international market because of pesticide residues. So that is very, very important, the information both the scientists shared. But what I expect from your organization in future is looking to the Asia and South Asia, very important insect pests. What are all the scientists across the world, what they are doing to manage the pest by using the biopesticides. So this is the very much information we require in future, so we can adopt this one, and how we can reduce the pesticide usage. Sir, thank you very much for the opportunity to share my views.
Thank you,
Over to
Dr.
Ravi sir.
Deshmukh. We have found in you the next potential speaker on what we should be doing more, where we are lacking, and this gap analysis is very crucial. Thank you, and
Yes,
we'll be in touch with you. It's a very important
sure, sir.
point.
Sure.
And
Thank you, sir.
I see that Francois is not here, but I see Helen is here. Helen, are you there? I see you in the
Yes,
list. Can
I
you
am
talk a
there.
bit on she's a communication officer in GFAIR, and can you
Yes.
say a few lines on the Bio4 essay?
Uh, Thank you very much, Dr. Ravi, for the opportunity. And as a first timer in this COP, I have really learned a lot on the Asia Pacific biopesticide community of practice. And there's a lot to learn from. And given that the community of practice was the first one to be launched before now the one for Africa, there's a lot of learnings from the same. So today I was just listening in, I was just gleaning in from the expert inputs and the experts' enlightenments. And I don't want to say much about the one for Africa because my colleague Francois is the one who's well versed on the issues. But from my end, I have really learned a lot, and it is a great networking platform. I have seen somebody who is in the call reaching out to me on LinkedIn from Russia, and I'm hoping to just cement the partnership and the collaboration. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I look forward to more of such forums and convenings. Thank you, Daktari, and the participants. Over.
Thanks, Helen, for your few words. And well, the friends, you see that how we need to grow our community, is by our sharing, by our caring for the fellow community members, and by seeing how we can collaborate with each other, whichever way. I think this has to be scaled up. Unless we scale up our efforts, we can't scale up application of biopesticides. So with these few words, I pass on to Darshika now.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Ravi. So I will be very brief as the time has already exceeded a
Yeah.
few more minutes. Yes, and I'm giving very special thanks to Dr. Jagdish and Mr. Rajendra for their insightful presentations and all the experts, those who have joined during the discussion, and Dr. Ravi and Apari team. So thank you, everyone, and I will be in touch with the presentations and recordings as well. And see you all in the next session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
How about the photograph of everyone?
Yes, I have already taken, but if you all can open your camera, that will be good as well. Yes, if everyone can open your cameras, please.
I think people have left most of them. Yeah.
Yes, that's why I usually take it at the
It's okay.
beginning. So
You can do
yes, thank you,
editing.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Deepika.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Thank
all.
you so much. Special thanks to Jagdish and Rajendra. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay.